Thanks, all right. All right, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so this public meeting is being recorded in accordance with Montana law. All those in attendance are advised that the public portions of this meeting will be recorded in audio video format. Now, remaining the meeting, those present consent to being recorded and displayed in footage that will be posted on the school district's website. Please contact the district office if you have any questions concerning Hamilton School District's recording obligations under Montana's open meeting law. Note that we're missing a few board members. In your packet, we have a revised personnel report, so you guys will see that, so we have that. There's two items in new business, item 5 and item 9, which is, one of them is to dispose of obsolete, that will be tabled. And then the rental agreement is not ready yet, so that'll also be tabled, which is number 9. So I don't see any other things we need to change on the agenda, so that's it. Public comment on anything that is not on the agenda? Okay, all right. No special presentation, student council, food service. Go ahead.
Pretty typical May month, just under 1,000 meals a day. Just started summer program on Monday. So far, almost 250 kids, both days. So it's going pretty good. Any questions?
Oh, sounds good. Glad the food program's up and running, so we're good to go. Okay, technology.
Technology kind of the same, a typical May into June. Folks are pretty focused on the finish up, so not a tremendous number of things going on for us. I did want to mention that we pushed out a message with Angie Fett's assistance to all of our graduating seniors to let them know that how long their Gmail account, their HSD3 account is going to be available. I typically allow them to have that through the summer. And I'll send out a reminder email if somebody's still accessing that. They're welcome to keep it open for a while. I don't see a strong need to have a hard, fast date on that one, but I do start closing those out in August. And the teachers that are departing will have until the 24th of June to access their resources until we turn those off. And we've been working real hard with Nate Hayfleet with the CAD/CAM lab. That is obviously one of our more robust labs in the entire district. Those are pretty powerful computers with a lot of different components to them. We've been working with him, and I'm pretty sure we've got the final image on that one put together. It took quite some time because of the software that he runs on there and trying to do installs on them also. And yeah, we're just moving into summer stuff, working on the iMac labs and making sure all the Chromebooks are up to speed, and fairly straightforward. May and June.
Excellent. All right, any questions from me? All right, keep moving along. Take finance.
So in the package, you'll see the May warrants and claims, and then also the April cash reconciliations. And then I think we had a couple of people donate for student outstanding meal debts of Tish Catton and Aaron Sherwood. And then we had an $8,500 donation from the Headwaters Foundation for Keystone. And then I'd like to acknowledge the Two Doves Foundation. They have provided support for families. They have a matching program, so if the family pays towards their students' outstanding debt, then the foundation matches that. And so they've helped several families, and this is, they donated a total of about, so it's another couple hundred today, so about $1,500, and thanks to Nick and Melanie Giacomino, they have that foundation. You'll see in the consent agenda, there's a few more students for attendance for out of district. And then I'm also working on the invoices for the other schools. Actually sent those out today. And so those will be affecting our budget for next year, and I'll have more precise numbers next month. And I'm going to be out of the office to attend a couple conferences. I did go to the one in Missoula last week, and there is a large change in how the general fund will be the components of that. So the base budget, as we know it, that has been comprised of different funding sources will now be a county-wide tax, so it'll be like the retirement fund. So they'll combine everybody's taxable values for all the schools on the base budget and then spread it out. So we won't, how we normally compare the mills from year to year, this year, we won't be able to do that in the general fund because the only mills that will actually levy will be the over base. So that will be a change and there'll be more of that, more information on that to come. Does anybody have any questions?
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So, okay, perfect. Any other questions? All right, Maniacs, custodian?
Busy month. I mean, May we go from graduation into softball state and elections and promotions. So there's a lot of setup, tear down, and still trying to keep the school in order. So nothing big got accomplished, but big events going on. So.
Perfect. And now it gets even busier because now the summertime.
Yeah, it's a different busy. It's not, oh, this just broke. It's projects.
Exactly. All right. That is for Jamie. Transportation. Tired of driving buses?
Yeah, the guys and the buses are glad to get some well-deserved rest. Yeah, transportation wise, you're doing pretty good. I mean, we have a few little snafus, but nothing we can't get through. This spring is always with sports is always our absolute busiest time, and then field trips and everything. I'm still trying to crunch some numbers for next board meeting so you can kind of see it numbers wise of comparison on the last couple of years. But everything went good, but yes, ready to get some rest. I'm calling guys. Grounds wise, a couple of projects. We do have the hydro seating. I talked to Dave today on it around the tennis courts, but for the week of the 22nd. Start on the 22nd. It's going to take about 4 days roughly. So we'll be doing some work out there to kind of do a little more prep work and that before he gets there. And then we've got this summer, we're hoping to get it done before, and Erica's probably ready to string us up, but we got to get their gazebo over the daily garden over there up and going, and we just didn't have time. There's so much going on. So her and I have talked a lot. She feels like a redheaded stepchild. We'll get there. So, other than that, just same old, we'll be, now the spring's here without the kiddos around as much. We'll get everything sprayed up, and our summer grounds crews are coming on within the next couple of weeks. We got 3 for sure hired and looking at a couple more. So that'll help always tidy everything up that we get behind them when Mother Nature always wins with rain. So we had then state softball went great up until again Mother Nature won over on the state game, but it all went pretty dang well. Super busy.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Legal, I don't know if you want to talk from there.
I've been working on wrapping up the regular school year business that we usually do. We've had quite a bit of HR stuff happening, and some contract review, and then getting started on some summer projects that are coming up. So, yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Move on to some principals. Who wants to go first? You guys survived the year. Who wants to go first? I'll go. All right, Daly, go for it.
Sorry, I didn't make the packet. It looks like this guy with the pictures on it. But I guess we're at Daly. We're already off and running with Summer Keystone and Summer School Jumpstart. So it just feels like we never really left. But before we leave, I just really wanted to point out on the second and third page is our benchmarking data for the first year that we were taking benchmarking data, and then last year and this year for comparison. I'm pretty proud of my team and how far they've come. They've really stayed in the struggle of student achievement, and we have some work to do, but we're moving in the right direction. So just before we start the new year, we've got to celebrate this one, I guess.
There you go. David. Absolutely. So, okay, any questions for Daly? All right. Go ahead, Wendy.
Okay, so, mine should both be in there. From Washington, they ended the year off well. We had a water day at the last week of school, which was a lot of fun for the kids. Right now, when I wrote this, we had 59 students signed up for next year. I actually think we're at 61 as of today, because I just did an assessment with a kid today, so that's exciting. And then for student services, the new numbers are there, kind of where we ended the year, special education wise. Just about everybody was definitely more than what they started the year with. And then I've just been continuing to work like with our social work team, and then work with Andrea and Erica with CSCT things.
Perfect. All right, any questions for Wendy? All right.
Okay, mine also did not make the board packet. It is the unpretty one with no color pictures on it. And we also have busy end of the year activities with last week of school activities, grade level assemblies, promotion, Rocket Day, all of that stuff. We're still working on some staffing things. We have an interview next week for one of our positions, and we have a second one still open that we're working on. A couple of things I just wanted to highlight. I want to say thank you to Mr. Lewis for hosting and welcoming our students to high school for our promotion, and Kira Handley did a fantastic job as the keynote speaker. That went very well. We had a kind of a mic drop moment, and then we had to continue on with our one of our student speakers this year. It was highly talked about and very well received, so that was fun. I also would like to point out Ms. Beisel and her yearbook staff this year. They created a tremendous yearbook, and the staff did a really good job of designing it and working really hard to make sure that as many of our students were represented within it as possible. We sold an astounding number of yearbooks, not only breaking even for this year, but also covering last year's deficit from transitioning to a new vendor and the extra costs that we didn't anticipate. So they did a fantastic job that way. We have 22 students for summer school this year, which is up from 1 last year. So, and it's going really well so far. The kids are showing up. They actually have great attitudes, and they're working on reading, writing, and math skills with 2 of our staff members.
Excellent. So, very cool. All right, any questions for Andrew? All right, high school?
High school, once again, thank you for all participating in graduation. I appreciate you being there. Summer school starts with us on Thursday as our orientation day. I believe we have 35 absent now. So that runs all the way through the end of July. And then just note, our budget drop didn't win it this year, but we did take 13th out of 60 at nationals in our science Olympic competition. That was our best finish again in the last several years. Very proud of that team. And then our office will be open every Wednesday from 9 to noon in July, just so you guys do know that.
Sounds good. All right, any questions for the high school? All right, activities?
Yeah, just highlight all of our teams, finishing out the year with the state tournaments. Did a great job. A couple highlights, Gracie Worst going back-to-back in the girls shot put, state champion, and then Kira Handley going back-to-back in tennis. 2 great accomplishments for our kids, and overall just a great spring season. As Tom talked, the state softball tournament went really well. It was awesome. Our girls took second, but just really proud of all of them and just all of our athletes throughout the whole spring. Just thank everyone for that state softball. That's a lot. It's a lot of people, a lot of work to go into it, and just a great team effort to put that on, and just really proud of our community for hosting that, and it was good.
Very good. So, yeah, good thing. So, cool, school board worked perfectly, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, school board. Excellent. So, cool. Any questions for activities? All right. Yeah, come on. Oh, skip me.
Right.
Oh, I didn't. Go ahead, Ryan.
I don't have a lot.
Okay, perfect. I'm here to skip you. You have a whole section at the end.
It's kind of fun at Senior Awards Night. We got to recognize some students. We're still really excited about those kids walking out with certifications and endorsements, and really thank the friends in particular of Hamilton schools for the scholarships they give to our students, and our CDL kids in particular. They walked out the door with a pretty great deal, pretty much with our advanced opportunities and the scholarships they got from friends. They didn't have to pay for that CDL, so that's pretty cool. We wrapped up the school year, really junior heavy in person at the charter school, which is nice. We'll be starting, with, 19 returning students, only 2 of which are gonna be incoming juniors, and then the rest are seniors. We've got, applications, to move kids over. So we're gonna have more kids over there than we've ever had in August and September. And then, of course, online enrollment, we'll kind of take it as it comes and being really mindful of the need to be online and kind of having more and more conversations with counselors and parents and the student as to why they're requesting the placement online, and how that flexibility and that placement is going to allow them to seek an opportunity that wouldn't be available if they didn't. So we're really looking at that really closely, and we'll kind of see how our numbers shake out. That usually becomes much more apparent in August. And then been working a lot with the counselors, as Mr. Lewis noted on summer school. Most of those students of the 35 are credit recovery kids that really just need opportunity to make up a class that they have failed. There are a few kids taking some original credit through MTDA as well. So that'll be Monday through Thursday for those credit recovery kids, 8:30 to 12:30, basically through July.
Perfect, thank you, Ryan, thanks for getting me on that. Cool, all right, now you're.
All right, so first of all, thank you to the trustees and thanks to the administrative team, supervisors, teachers, staff. This would, in my opinion, marks the end of my first year here. So July of, this coming July will repeat that cycle. So it's been a good year, it's gone very fast. Learned a lot of good things about this district and excited about our future. So wanted to start off with a thank you. In my report, there are several things, one of which is an agenda item that we can talk about later as well, but a proposal for different committees that includes governance, negotiations, facilities, school community relations, and then curriculum and instruction. So the structure of that is really up for discussion and what that all looks like and developing the purpose and responsibilities of those. So that is food for thought for everybody. I did include, and there's a lot of copies or a lot of paper in this report, the ESSA report, which is our reporting, federal reporting requirements. And there's a side-by-side comparison, a table in here that shows you we compare favorably in essentially every category. We are at or above state averages in terms of performance. This is just one assessment. You saw a different one from Erica, which I like those results better. But this is one of those requirements. The only thing that we didn't quite score as well as the state was attendance. And so they look at 95% as the standard, and Montana schools had 95% in session 36% of the time. We had 95% in session 25% of the time. So that is roughly about 18 or 19 days, I think. But overall, our attendance rates that we report to the state are still very, very strong. We have a 90% attendance rate. But good results, just food for thought for you. We have the opportunity to talk about our food service meal charges. It is a very complex issue. It's a tough issue. The policy is really one piece of the puzzle, and the policy is an old policy, but really trying to work through and discuss some procedural things, which I'm kind of laying out a couple of things in here about what to do, when to communicate. I attended the Friends of Hamilton Schools Foundation today. They are ready, willing, and able to start a campaign for helping to pay some of the lunch debt. So we're very fortunate that we have the Greater Valley, we have Two Doves, and now we have the Friends of Hamilton Foundation to help with all of that. But we still need to talk about communication and how we communicate and how we interact with families that have that lunch debt. And so we'll continue having that discussion throughout the summer have something in place for the fall. We did get some news about our iStan and Cali programs. So these were programs that were funded by the youth court. That funding is no longer available to us, so that represents a loss of roughly anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 for the district. Those function on a reimbursement sort of setup. So the number of students that we serve, we are reimbursed by that, so that number can fluctuate, but loss of funding. So that's not great news that way. Which that relates to another topic on our agenda, which we'll get to later. Put some thoughts down. We had, and during a governance meeting, some conversation about food trucks on campus, when, where, how to do this. And really, we're kind of narrowing the focus to what events do we not have concessions or fundraising activities going on that are gone through the district. We would probably consider using some sort of rental agreement, require some profit to be shared with the district. But there's something for people to be thinking about and to provide input is what to do about food trucks if we are going to move forward on that. Last little piece here, actually I forgot one, there's a table, I just want to point this out. This has to do with our lunch balance, and it's a color table. All of the color on that particular table, if you look at that, the lunch balances, at one point or another, most of those people were either qualified or did qualify for free or reduced lunch. And so they're now maybe above the threshold. That could be as much as a few dollars that puts them over the threshold. And so just some context about the situation that those families may or may not be in. Last thing, Dr. Wormley will be here in August. He is an expert on proficiency-based grading, standards-based grading. We've had a tremendous amount of discussion at the administrative level, and I know they've had these in their buildings as well, about curriculum instruction and assessment. This will be the kickoff to conversations about some of those aspects, and really what he will challenge the thinking of myself, he will challenge the thinking of our administrative team, he will challenge the thinking of our staff, and good to sit and think and reflect about the practices that we have in place, and how we shape moving forward with our teams, and that. So that's coming up, and that will be kicked off here in August. So that is it for my report.
Couple questions from me. Sure. From the attendance aspect, I know is that, because I know certain districts record attendance differently. I guess is the best way, the easiest way to put it. Does that have probably an effect on exactly what this is?
Oh, for sure.
Because I know, I won't speak district names, but I do know there are districts that use attendance liberally, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So, and that changes this average quite a bit. So while we may be more exacting, I would say, in comparison. So I know that is, I kind of want to look at, as you say, our normal attendance is 90-something% or something like that.
Yeah.
That's to me more important than the 25% and 95, because I don't necessarily.
It's a really good point, and it's important that whenever we're looking at data, that we understand that it is just a snapshot, and there are things like that that impact the results, the final result, how things are done, and yeah, I think that's an important point.
Because I know even in graduation rates, that's different schools calculate that. And so it's, I don't know, maybe that's something that needs to be at some point discussed with you guys, is, standardizing how that is done, so therefore it actually the data makes sense all across the board, because it school districts quote, oh, we're 98% graduation rate, like, No. So it's not standard, and I think that's something that's a problem when you're looking at this data and trying to think, because it's not data you can believe per se. So anyways, just comment on that. On the food trucks one, do you know, kind of getting a list of what events those would be? Like, we have, obviously, we talk about the Booster Club, and we know, like, obviously football games, all those kind of things have concessions and that kind of stuff, but trying to figure out the list of events that we don't have concessions, or that Booster Clubs can't do concessions on because they just, they don't have staffing or whatever, and stuff like that, kind of coming up with that thought process.
And I'll ask the administrative team to weigh in on this one in case I missed things, but I think it primarily boils down to some track events and maybe some tennis events, where there isn't any concession or there isn't any way to work. Is that accurate, Travis, or?
Well, we have them at the track events. It's gonna just depend on a year by year, season by season basis of like what events we don't have coverage for. We'll have a transition within the Booster Club this year. I know the president is stepping down, so it'll all kind of depend on how that kind of progresses forward, who becomes the president and, volunteers from it, and just coming up with a plan, so that we don't, obviously step on their toes with it, I think is important as well.
Sure.
And figuring out what our process is on, the vet of who gets to come in or who applies to come in, however we want to look at it and stuff, and whatever kind of contract that we think is appropriate with them.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking as we work through the Booster Club and stuff like that, as they're transitioning to, is like trying to figure out, there may be times where like, they're like, we can't work that one.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes they have struggles where it's basically the same person every single weekend for forever. And trying to figure out, okay, so maybe we take one day out of those or something like that where we're not, and do that. So it just kind of working through that might alleviate some of it. That actually might get more booster participation because they don't feel like they're being dragged to do it all the time. I know that's gonna be a drag.
I've communicated with a few districts that have had food trucks and listened to a few of the pros and cons of it as well, that we need to just go over and make sure that we really look at this as what kind of policy we want to put in place for it.
Sure, that makes sense. So, cool, sounds good. All right. Any other questions for Dave? All right, keep going on. All right. Consent agenda. So as I said, you have a revised one. It has a couple of new appointments that just came in. So also in your board packet, minutes of previous meetings, all that kind of stuff, claims, warrants, and then the big sheets, which is the other districts, students, and all that good stuff. So any major comments on that?
No, it's a pretty comprehensive list. You've got everything from the renewal of district office staff to, activities, classified renewals. So, there's a lot in it.
Sounds good. So any comments? If not, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So,
Can I get a second?
second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Perfect. Next one is the Fidel Court, which I think is still just waiting.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for permitting through the city.
Okay. Unfortunately, the next one on the old business is the 22 audit, and we're still waiting on the 22 audit.
Yep.
Okay, so hold on. All right, first item of new business is board approval to eliminate the following position, the school nurse half FTE, and terminate the employment of the half FTE employee due to financial considerations and reduction in force.
So, case in point, this is definitely a financial situation, and it relates back to a reduction in our general fund, and we have things like the iStand and the Cali that impact us as well, the loss of funding there. And then, of course, we had a couple unsuccessful levies as well. So my recommendation is to reduce that position.
Okay. Any comments, questions, anything like that? If not, can I get a motion to approve this elimination of the following position? Can I get a second? Second. Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, next one is something we basically have to do, is the McKinney-Vento Homeless Act. So this is just a transportation agreement. Can I get a motion to approve this agreement?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Next one is the HMS school mural project to be completed by HMS students during the summer of 2026.
Yeah, so this is, I know Jessica's here, do you want to say anything, or do you want to just hang up?
It's just we would like permission to paint the mural this summer when our supplies arrive. They just didn't arrive before school year ended, and there are students that are interested in helping.
Perfect. So I know
Totally support that.
Yeah, I know we're working on permission slips and all sorts of stuff, so
Yes.
all that good stuff. So I think this is good for them. So can I get a motion to approve the HMS school mural project to be complete by HMS students? Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Have fun up there. Regulation to approve all the current bus routes as is for the 26-27 school year. Self-explanatory, can I get a motion to approve that? So moved. Can I get a second? Second. Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, on to 6, so approval to destruction of records according to Schedule 7, which is the school district retention schedule.
Yeah.
Just giving them.
There's a list in your packet if you're curious what is included there.
Yep, can I get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second. Okay, any questions, concerns?
Just what's the amount of time that we hang on to a record?
It's dependent on the specific record, but in most cases, it's 7 years past or 8 years past the audit.
So, perfect. All right, a motion and a second, any other comments? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Excellent. Next one, consideration of the ratification of the collective bargaining agreement with the Montana Federation of Public Employees number 4533 employee union, the classified union.
So your packet contains a red line copy of the contract. So obviously the dates are changed. There's some language about flexibility with weekend work. There is some flexibility with union leave, some additional time for union leave for union business. And the financial aspect of this is for the course of the 2 years, retention bonuses for those 2 years, but that sunsets at the end of that contract. So it is a 3% retention bonus in year 1 and a 3.5% retention bonus in year 2.
So, any questions? Is there a chance to look for it? So, thanks to all the hard work of negotiation teams on both sides, coming to this agreement. It was good. Got there, those things, and it seems like it went well. So, okay. If not, can I get a motion to approve this ratification?
So,
Can I get a second?
second.
Okay. Any other discussion, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, next one, almighty calendar. So request approval of the 27-28 academic calendar.
Yeah, so you have a copy of the calendar in there. This was a collective effort. There was a survey that was done. The survey, I wouldn't say reveals a mandate. There's definitely mixed feelings about the calendar. Marlon, Erica, and I know Jeremy is here as well. If there are any comments related to the calendar. But that is the version that we were going in.
So just so you guys know, there is one, the NEA days are still not unknown, so we're still waiting to add those in there. But other than that, everything else I think is in here. So all was good. All right.
I do have a question.
Yes, of course.
Is the reason we start so much earlier because we have more of those PD days scattered throughout and like 3-day weekends? Because people are gonna ask me why we're starting in August again.
So back, when we put spring break back in the calendar, that's when it stretched it. And so that was part of the consensus, we'd start earlier before the fair. It's been a point of contention for the committee for a long time, but that's the reason it's there, is that full week of spring break. We did add in the 2 extra holidays that has been put in place. We moved the all PR days into the fair week. So the teachers actually get 2 extra days, because those are, they're very frustrating days. So, but yes, that's why, it's a consensus from the committee and feedback from everybody.
I'm moving those 2 days down to give like an extra weekend and like the rest of a finished week and an extra weekend before school starts. So we did try to move it down as much as possible without like a major overhaul to the school calendar.
And then, sorry, my other question is, what's the reasoning for the different start days for everyone?
So, go ahead first.
Okay, so like at Daily, we do the family meet and greets. So when we do those, fourth grade needs 1,080 hours of instruction and K through 3 needs 960 or 920, I can't remember. But a really big difference. And so not starting fourth grade, as soon as those meet and greets is over is, if we have too many snow days, we get in trouble with hours. So that's why the difference at Daily.
So for the high school, we do a freshman academy on the 18th. So we bring the freshmen in, they go through all the classes, they get all the expectations taught to them, they get tours, blockers, a whole shooting match. We do a barbecue with the seniors in them. The seniors come in, we had the senior meeting starting that year, they paid their parking spots, so they're in there for a half a day, and then we roll on the 19th with everybody. Same thing for me as well. My freshmen, sophomores, and juniors have to have 1,080 hours of instructional time per year. Plus, we have to meet the 187 days in the teacher's contract. There's a lot of things that go into this that force this a little bit. And then seniors, of course, have a less requirement. Theirs is, I think, only 1050.
Okay,
I was like, just from this year to next year graduation date, like this next year, it's a week early. This year it was 2 weeks early. What was it? Why, how do you come up with that?
Well, it was actually scheduled to be that other week, but with the changing of MHSA and the state meets in Laurel and Hardin, everybody rushing back to get back for that. We felt it was best to move it back to Memorial Day. That also gives us a Monday off to recover from that before we went off to the state tournaments this year. So that was the reasoning for that. We try to keep it there. My understanding from MHSA is this happens once every 12 years or something like that, where we get a weird date that's out past Memorial Day for the state tournaments. But that's what happened this year. And we were tight this year, Mike, with the 1050 for the seniors.
Thank you.
That's good. Cool. Any more questions? Calendar's always a fun one. So, all right. If not, can I get a motion to approve the 27-28 academic calendar?
So
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Any additional discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay. Next one is request for approval for the HHS Track to Community Service event outside of the academic year in support of the Roberts Run on August 1st to 26th. So we've done this for many years. Can I get a motion to approve this service event?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay. Next one is request for approval of the partial sublease of the Westview building by UM Bitterroot for the benefit of the Bitterroot Discovery Children's Museum during the month of July of 26.
Yeah, so the Bitterroot Discovery Children's Museum does a pop-up events, and they're requesting to use the Westview property during the month of July, and so UM Bitterroot has the lease on that property, and so we're subleasing that to the Bitterroot Discovery Children's Museum. So, yeah.
Sounds good. So, any questions, anything like that? All right, I'd get a motion to approve this partial sublease.
So,
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed say nay. Perfect. Next one, just continue our PT therapy services with Bitterroot Health for 26-27. Can I get a motion to continue those?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, next one, approval for the out-of-state travel by Daily Elementary fourth graders to travel to Yellowstone National Park in April and May, and do little different things. Do you want to describe?
So typically we take 2 groups of kids to Yellowstone, fourth graders, and it's a lottery draw. We don't get to pick the dates. And this year we drew an April date and a November date. November is obviously not ideal, so we decided to try and see if we could do like a self-guided. We have lots of teachers that have gone before that we feel really comfortable that we could do much of what we do with EY Yellowstone, and give both groups a great experience in the spring, rather than trying to fit 1 into a winter month that would more than likely be canceled. So, is at the try. We've got, they communicated with us that because we've gone so many times, they'll give us the same permits that they give to EYL, so to do the same experience in the park that, only usually the Rangers are allowed to do, so we're excited about it.
Yeah, very cool. Perfect. Can I get a motion to approve the out-of-state travel for fourth graders?
So,
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
I'm,
All those opposed, say nay. Perfect. Next one, adoption of the resolution for a general fund budget amendment.
Yeah, so this is something that we've done for several years. This is a precautionary measure just to make sure that there is money to finish the year in good standing, and not likely that we will have to do anything with that, but it's there as a safety net.
Perfect. Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the resolution for the general fund budget amendment?
so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay, next one, adoption of the resolution to authorize the transfer of funds from the flexibility fund to support the transformational learning program for 26-27.
Yeah, so on this one, there is a transfer of funds into the Flex Fund. We were a recipient of the Transformational Learning Grant in phase 1. We were not a recipient of Transformational Learning in phase 2. However, we still have one more year that we can be working on our transformational learning. And so this transfer of funds will allow us to continue doing the projects that we had started for one more year. Ryan, I don't know if you have anything more to add there related to transformational learning, but this allows us to keep the good work that Ryan's been doing and our high school's been doing for this transformational learning. There's some good stuff going on. I'd like to continue that.
Would it conclude after one more year?
Well, the work won't conclude, but the funding will. So, I mean, it's largely how we funded the Polytech, a lot of the Polytech, and a lot of the purchases and even staffing. So we'll figure that out, but the ability to at least have that budget in place for one more year will help that transition greatly.
Sounds good. Cool. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolution to authorize the transfer of funds from the flexibility fund to the transformational learning program?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Perfect. Go over the board committees.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to look at those again, if there's any discussion, but it may be something that you want to process. And maybe the time to actually set those committees would be governance or in the July meeting to get going. This way, everybody gets a chance to think about it a little bit and provide input to either Patrick or myself. And then we set the committees and, yeah.
I'm just looking through it, if there's one that really you want to be in, just let me know.
How many board members do we want on each committee?
So there's ones in here, we can't have over 3, because then that becomes a quorum, so you have it here like 3, 2, 2, I think he's got 2.
Yeah, it's mostly 2.
So,
Oh, I see.
so, it doesn't mean, and I'll say this because I always say this, it doesn't mean that you cannot come to the committee meetings, you absolutely can, you just can't be a voting member for the committee. So you can always come to any committee meeting. If you become a voting member, then it's a quorum, and that becomes a problem, because then that's a fully seated board. So that's the problem that we have, but you're more than welcome to come to it as a public member. So, but if there's one that you're like, yeah, I really want to be on this one, or not, let me know. You can let me know now, or you can let me know later if there's something that's like, this is what I want to be on, stuff like that. So otherwise, I'll start assigning. We can work from there. Once they're signed, it doesn't mean that we can't change. That happens often. So usually, just so you know, usually governance is usually at least me and Eli for those, so we just kind of pick up somebody else for that. The negotiations, Mark and I have been on that one for a long time. It doesn't mean that we can use some new blood. We don't have the negotiations this upcoming year. It's the following year that we run into negotiations again. So it'll be a pretty boring group for a while next year, because there is no good negotiations unless something magical happens. Yeah, so unless they get opened up, at least for certified and classified, they're 3 years for certified and 2 years for classified at this stage. Facilities, we've had that for years. That was usually Mark and Tim, but they haven't met in a long period of time, so that can be some read things. We have lots of stuff to talk about in facilities in terms of deferred maintenance, all of that kind of stuff, so there's a lot to be discussed. We talked about long-term planning for that one, because there are gonna be some needs going to long-term, so talking about, so that's gonna be kind of an interesting one. School community relations, we've had communications, community relations committees in the past that have been usually short-term. I think this would be good because based on our last 2 bonds and last levies, we probably continue to work on this part of it, so I think this is an important one. And then that was Drew and Jenny for a long period of time. They were kind of leading it, and so more blood is good, new blood, that kind of stuff. Curriculum and instruction, we haven't had this one in a while, so it's been at least 4 or 5 years. So probably not good to bring it back and get it going and stuff like that. So I think we kind of died during COVID, and we haven't brought it back. So probably a good time to start bringing it back. So, but yeah, just let me know if you're like dying to be on one of these, and otherwise I'll start divvying it up. And
I'm more interested in governance, facilities, and curriculum and instruction than the other two. But I'm happy to do whatever you need.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm more interested in school community relations and facilities, because I think they kind of go. To an extent.
Well, yeah, not that you need it, but I would go back on negotiations if something came out, but otherwise I was thinking facilities too.
Okay. Yeah, do that too. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll start divvying out the others too. Like that. Okay. Since I was here, you guys get to choose first. So it's a benefit of being here first.
Just not necessarily a choice.
Yeah, so perfect. Awesome. Cool. All right. See, now we have the update on the charter schools ready for you.
Yeah.
So, all right, board policies, we have 2 of them.
Yeah, so the first reading of policy 2333 is graduation ceremonies. This is just adding a line to be consistent with our practice. And so that is the allowing of military, those that are going into the military, their stoles at the graduation ceremony. So really just getting consistent here.
Sounds good. So, always fair. If it's not a required one, then we don't, we go to a second reading. If it is a required one, then we can do it on the first.
Right, you're gonna wanna do a second reading.
Okay, so we do a second reading. So we'll see you next month. Now we have policy 8205.
Yeah, so this is the lunch meal balance conversation. This is policy that we at one point had adopted, and we just kind of, in terms of record keeping, we lost track of our records a bit there and flip over with California law, and so we're just getting back to where we need to be. And really the gist of that policy is we are going to feed kids. We're gonna feed kids, so.
And my understanding of this basically is saying we're not gonna give any kid an alternate meal.
Right.
This new policy is saying we're not doing that.
Yep.
And we're also saying we have the option to send families to collections, although we're gonna try to avoid doing that at all costs.
Absolutely. So I think the larger discussion is, what's the procedure around the policy? So the policy will provide the umbrella, and then what we do with that that's the larger conversation. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, second reading. So can I get a motion to approve this policy 8205?
So
can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, that's all we got. So next meeting, July 14th, in the middle of summer. So thanks everyone. We'll be in touch.
Big sheets for that.